we teach these kids who are going to be the change makers, and they're going to inherit this earth that we're a part of. So my name is Jadelyn Chang, and I teach kindergarten at Foster City Elementary School in the San Mateo-Foster City School District. And I've kind of always been very passionate and concerned about the environment, like even when I was a kid, a long time ago. But as a teacher now, I started seeing our custodian walking through campus with like bags and bags and bags of trash that just went into trash. And at home, I sort everything, I compost, I do all of that. And so it really kind of got me thinking, like, what can we do at a school level? And a couple of years ago, there were three other teachers and myself. We did the SMELK Zero Waste Institute over the summer. And that kind of got the ball rolling because we had previously talked about trying to make a change, but it was really, really difficult to just do it at a school level. There were a lot of things that we had to kind of contend with in terms of district office and rethink waste, ecology, all of that. So it was really difficult, but being able to participate in the Zero Waste Institute. And as a team, it really kind of propelled us forward. We were able to meet community partners that helped us with their efforts. And so that's kind of how it started going. And then I loved it. And so I went on the next year to do clean energy. And here we are. So that's how I started. What it basically did is it made me accountable to being able to really teach. I teach kindergarten, right? So it made me accountable to teach these units and these project-based learning units to have the kids learn more about recycling, reducing, reusing, composting, all of that. And then because we participated as a team, we were able to kind of roll that out school wide. We used our librarian was amazing, and we worked together to build a green team, and then she kind of gave the same message across the whole school, which I think was really, really fabulous. And then teachers took lessons in the units and did what they wanted to do with it. But as a team, it was really great because we had each other that we were able to, ask for support and help. And then we worked towards the common goal. And we were able to do that. We introduced the green team, and they composted the whole year. And we actually got awarded we were a Green Star school, and we got a couple of other awards. So that was really great. And through that, our kids were really interested in it. So you kind of take the kids' lead and go from there. And so how participating in all of these ventures helped me as a classroom teacher was by giving me content knowledge, for sure. Like, I'm still learning. I don't, it's just so, it almost can be overwhelming because there's so much that you can be concerned about. And then once you learn something else, then it goes to something else. So one thing leads to another, and then you start to be passionate about one thing. And then it's like, well, what about this over here? So the education, just in terms of the content knowledge, was really, really helpful. But then the community partners, they were amazing. We still have these partnerships. So we started doing this before COVID happened, and we're really successful. And you know what? I've actually done something with all of our community partners this year as well, even though we've been in distance learning the whole year. And so I just finished doing with Rethink Waste school-wide assemblies for TK through 5th grade. They came in. It was really personal. It was awesome. All the kids participated virtually, and it was just a really great way to kind of celebrate the work that we've been doing at school, but then also at home. Like, how can you transfer? Ultimately, we want it to go beyond the school gate. We want it to go into the community and at home, and kids, they have a voice, and that they have the ability to go ahead and move forward with their passions, but also to be able to inspire people at home or in their neighborhood to do things that they might not have already done. So yeah, it was everything and more to be able to participate in SMELC. I think, you know, when I just actually last week showed my kids pictures of Ox Mountain, which is like, they just, you know, and kindergartners, they don't really understand the scope of the problem, but they certainly understand the urgency. They looked at Ox Mountain, they were like, oh my gosh, that's so much trash. And so teaching the youngest kids, I think, is a little bit easier because they don't kind of delve into like the emotional trauma that I think that you might have, you know, as you get older, but they still understand that like this is a problem and what can we do. And because you're asking them to be solutionaries, what can we do to solve the problem? Like everyone can do something. And because I'm talking about it throughout the whole year, it's not just a one and done thing. It really kind of has gotten, you know, itself into the fabric of like who they are. And, you know, so now we have kids who are like, oh, well, you have to turn off the lights, and they're making signs like turn off the lights, save energy. And, you know, do we have are all of these, you know, what kind of light bulbs are these? And so you have them start thinking about things like that. Oh, well, this is, you know, this is a hybrid car, this is an electric car. How many of you have electric cars at home? You know, and then composting. Where is our compost? Oh, we live in an apartment building, we don't have a compost, what can we do? So these are all things that we're teaching them and educating our kids to really be stewards of the environment. They're inheriting this earth. You know, they're going to be the problem, you know, they're going to be the problem solvers in the future. And so why not start now to kind of get them on their journey to be able to affect change in their lives. Right before the pandemic hit, I did a garden which was not great because then we weren't allowed at school, and then it just like overran itself. But my hopes are to start doing, you know, I have a garden now, but it's not composting in the true sense of the word. So my next steps are to do a school garden and composting, because what we're really doing is diversion, right? We're sorting and it's being taken away. So but then also to be working with our community partners, and we've already laid the groundwork for that and the foundation, because in our assemblies last week, actually we had assemblies all this month for Earth Day, but it was like, you know, they met everybody there and they're like, okay, we're going to be continuing this work forward, so what can we do? And the kids are super excited about that. So I think there's going to be a lot of great things that happen when we get back to campus. And you know, I think also getting everything up and running will be a huge task, because we've been gone for a year and, you know, 4 months from it. So we have a huge task ahead of us, but we can do it. Well, I'm going to continue participating in the institutes, and so that will be exciting. And you know, moving on from there, I think it's just really fine tuning and honing what it is that I want to do within my classroom, but also as part of a broader community within my school community. So there's so many things that we can do, right? I've tackled zero waste, and I've tackled clean energy, but I feel like I could spend so much time there. But you know, I'm also thinking about like safe routes to school, right? So there's so many different ways that you can go. But because I kind of live in an area, and I used to actually walk to school every day. I did that for like 2 years, and it takes a little bit of dedication. But you know, along the way, I've seen, we have a parent who was doing like a walking school bus, which I think is like really cool. And a lot of the kids live in the community that they go to school, and so it is possible to do that. So there's a lot of avenues that I think I can explore and discover. And you know, I'm always learning, so it's going to be forever. As teachers, I think we know that we affect the future, right? We know that, but this is also, it gives you a sense of urgency. So I think participating in the fellowship, for me, gave me an even bigger sense of urgency than I had before. But it also enabled me to build my background knowledge, and it educated me more on things, and it made me passionate more about the things that I've been concerned about. It put me in touch with Changemakers. It put me in touch with community partners, which I think has been game changing for me, because it's very overwhelming have to do it by yourself. And so even if you even if you participate in the fellowship by yourself, you still have this broad community of support. Like I have met educators that I will keep in touch with and that I have kept in touch with, and that we share resources, and it's been really amazing. So for any teacher, educator who is interested in being part of this fellowship, I would highly recommend that they do it, just because it's, like we teach these kids who are going to be the change makers, and they're going to inherit this earth that we're a part of. And so we really need to kind of like get on the ball and have a more broad and focused view, a focused view, but a broad view of like what we want to do. And this helps you kind of fine tune what it is that you're interested in, and it lets you explore, and it lets you affect change, lets you affect the kids in your classroom, and it lets you be a change maker yourself.